Syria, and of course also from Judea. And these are the spectators. But the horses came also from all over the world. So here, I don't know if you have been in a football game in Liverpool. Try to. Miles before you enter the stadium, you smell beer in the air. And beer was not invented in England. It was invented in the Roman Empire. And maybe that's why they don't want us to come. You see, the sand was moved because of the storm. Huge waves came here and they pushed the sand. And that's why you can see the mosaic. The mosaic is like a carpet, and it used to cover all that here. And now they have to cover it again. Why? Because the sun might fade the colors of the mosaic. It's a neoplastic epoch. You see, Herod was Jewish, yes, but he was educated in Rome. So he wanted to bring... And the Carmel Mountain doesn't have one peak. And it's not so tall, but kind of a ridge that goes all the way and enters the sea and forms Haifa Bay. So you're right here, see the aqueduct goes from here to the right up to the spring next to the mountain. Mountain were burned. You had to bring airplanes, air tankers from Greece, from England, from the States, from Russia, and they came, and only after 4 days of fire they succeeded to extinguish the fire here. And we lost here 43 young people in that fire 2 weeks ago. They were stuck in the canyon where they were surrounded with fire and they suffocated. Only after the First World War. Before that it was just a small fisherman village. And when the British troops came, they needed a deep water port, and the Bay of Haifa could provide it. And that's why after the First World War, and when you have a port, you have raw material coming in. So when you have material coming in, you have industries. You have industries, you have workers. You have workers, too many, and then you have strikes. You have strikes, you have the red flag. You have the red flag, you have socialism. That's why you can say until the old city downtown, close to the port, the more commercial area, then halfway up the mountain, the Hadar, which is semi-residential and semi-commercial, and then the top, which is only residential. The top of Carmel, drum area in front of us, all the way south. Chicago, United States. They have there a beautiful center, but the garden here is more beautiful than the garden there. But their center in Chicago is really a piece of beauty. Now here you can see the green roof. This is the archive, and they have 2 more buildings to your right. The World Justice, Center of World Justice, is more to the right. If you go to the gate, they allow you to enter up to the gate down here. That's how you know that you can't dig lower. The moment you reach the National Road. And now we go through that hall here, and on your right you'll see a granite column. Granite column like those we saw in Caesarea. Because the Crusaders, or here you can see in the yard, a granite column, part of it, and that was brought here from Caesarea. And it came to Caesarea from Egypt. Because we don't have to the parallel and just to build one big dome. No. We speak about the Crusaders. The classical world does not exist. Rome was destroyed by the Germans that came with the Gothic style, or even before that, Romanesque style. And they forgot, and they did not find any dome to copy. If there was, and saw any dome, they did not have the know-how. How the classical world built domes? Very simple. They built first the walls, and then filled up. They found a drawing from the 13th century that depicts that there was here a fourth floor building on top. And that was the house of the archbishop that was appointed here at the end of the Crusaders' time, almost 20 years before, on a solid base. And one more thing, we have electricity, yes, but 800 years ago, it was picked up and became a mountain. But that cracked. Because of that pressure, it cracked.